I am taking a look at Austin Kleon's wonderful little book, Show Your Work. Now, this magnificent little Bible of how to function and get your work out and build an audience in the modern world in a way that's lovely and connected and heartfelt.
The best way to get started on the path to sharing your work is to think about what you want to learn and make a commitment to learning it in front of others. Share what you love, and the people who love the same things will follow you. So we're trying to find our audience, and the best way we can do that is just by being totally open about what the hell's going on. Now, this is just a part of my day, and I'm showing it to you guys. This is about bringing it into my process. Now, you might not be a musician, but it's just a sign of like what's actually going on. We have to ask ourselves, what story are we telling? And every single aspect of our story becomes a critical detail in the making of a whole. Austin's saying, share them, share your work. Think process, not product. So he's encouraging us to take people behind the scenes. There's a quote from Anne Friedman, pull back the curtain on your process. Become a documentarian of what you do. Start a work journal. Write your thoughts down in a notebook or speak them into an audio recorder. Keep a scrapbook. Take a lot of photographs of your work at different stages in your process. Shoot video of you working. This isn't about making art. It's about a simple, keeping track of what's going on around you. Got to get into that. I think this is something that's too easy to forget in and of itself, that there is a levity and a lightness that comes into hard or deep or creative work. You're raising stuff up that feels a bit tricky. You're battling certain vampires or demons or whatever it is that's coming out of the void. Bring a lightness to it, and it keeps you moving. And rather than disrupting the process, it can actually aid your process. It can get you out of yourself for a few minutes, and we all need that sometimes, right? So Austin says, share something small every day. Send out a daily dispatch. So building a substantial body of work takes time, a lifetime really. But thankfully, you don't need that time all in one big chunk. So forget about decades, forget about years, and forget about months. Focus on days. Remembering the value of incremental movements forward, and that is how life is knitted together. So his call to arms is simply, what are you working on? Stick to that question and you'll be good. Don't show your lunch or your latte, show your work. Okay, so he's cutting out excuses here. Don't say you don't have enough time. We're all busy. We all get 24 hours a day. You might have to miss an episode of your favorite TV show. You might have to miss an hour of sleep, but you can find the time if you look for it. I like to work while the world is sleeping and share while the world is at work. So today, my one damn hope is I'm going to post something, not to be resistant, going to get on with it, going to take some of the stuff that I'm trying to tell you guys about and do it myself. Namely, stop being so bloody hopeless. One of the things for me that was really helpful last year in regard to story was that I was feeling at such a low when I started with trying to write these songs, suffering from the writer's block, feeling this anxiety, feeling very cut off from the world, wondering what the fuck I was doing in life. And leaning into that and saying, right, I'm going to share this journey, come what may, irrespective of how I feel, of how sort of low I feel. We forget that there's actually an opportunity in this. I think I realize this more now than I did then, is that there's this opportunity when you're in that particular state of suffering, because it's such an amazing markation in your story when you've got somewhere that you need to fight out of, when you need to crawl out of a pit, and you do it manually. If you start sharing that, it can lead to an amazing story. The stories you tell about the work you do have a huge effect on how people feel and what they understand about your work. So for example, what am I working on at the moment? How can I tell a better story about what am I doing? Okay, it's a very interesting frame because it gets you thinking in a totally different way. So I'm working on a song that I actually am going into the studio tomorrow to record. This is a song called Tell Me Where to Begin. It's not available anywhere online. 3 stories about this song.
First of all, I wrote it in 2012. Secondly, it was on my EMI album. Thirdly, this song came to me in a dream where I was having a conversation with John Lennon at the piano, and I literally got out of bed in the morning. I could hardly play the piano, and I just had this riff in my head. I'm weak and I don't know where my anger is. I'm weak and I don't know where I should begin. I'm weak and you tell me where the danger is, though I'm broken out and not even started. And this song is not available online because it was taken offline when Universal bought over EMI. And I was just thinking, this song is so important to me and it's not even out there. And I was like, right, I've got to go and record this. Tell me where I should begin, where I should begin, where I should begin. Tell me, tell me. And I was just like, you know what? That's the story. So I'm going to tell you guys, because thinking about the story behind the work, it activates. What's the reality? What are you not telling anyone? So I'm going to go into the studio tomorrow and I'm going to take Austin's little book with me. I'm going to take you guys and I'll just show you a bit behind the scenes there, because we've got to tell our stories right and we've got to remind ourselves over and over and over. Story, 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 story. To the studio today, I'm going to go and torture poor Bob with my terrible piano playing. It's going to be a good day. Any day you get to torture Bob with my piano playing, that's a good day. My favourite days in the world, torturing this wonderful man. So we're just working on a song called Tell Me Where to Begin. So I just put a guide vocal down, a guide piano and a guide vocal, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, but Bob, I will put someone in there to watch you with the reverb button. I told you. I'm weak and I don't know where my anger is. I'm weak and I don't know where I should begin. It's going through to decide some structural questions with Dr. Bob, and we'll see how this track's going to be.
2 bars.
Sounds good to me. From the top, please, Bob. I won't stop unless there was enough in there to warrant it, yeah. Sharing what you learn. And something that I just wanted to share, because actually I was having not such a good day in the studio today. I really am butchering. I thought it was going to go a lot better than it did so far. And something I just want to pass over is that you're going to have these days. But the thing is, the whole day doesn't have to be like it you think it's going to be when you get sucked into that vortex, or when something goes badly and it's not going well. You just need to get out, you need to reset, and you need to let it go. You know, you're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are either. So I'm just taking a moment to reset, let the sun come down, and then when I go back in, to let it all go and then go again. Because the easiest thing when you're wrestling with a demon of your own talent, or the sort of squirrel is getting in your brain that's stopping you perform as you'd like to do. So I'm just working on the release of the next single, and so I'm working on the artwork. It's going a bit better than last time. Lots of little mini pain points. Everything always takes much longer than you think. It's just a rule of life, right? But I thought it'd be quite fun just to show you, as usual, what's going on behind the scenes, a little bit of building in public, few pain points I'm trying to work through every time I'm doing this, having to learn some new skills. So it's quite fun. So I'll show you what I'm learning very quickly, and let's dive in. So I've been working with a bunch of different pictures. Now, these are actually from the music video, and they're quite fun, but you can see that the actual single needs to be a square. Anyway, so it did take a little bit of figuring out, but once you figure it out, it's actually pretty easy. So you go over here and you get your crop tool, and you're not actually expanding the photo itself to start with, so you're actually expanding the canvas. So I took it a bit up, and then I take a little bit down, creating a rough square. So then you go to down here to the generate button, and you see it's now generating, and we'll see the results in a second. So it's going to use autofill on these 2 white areas. Okay, so now you can see in Canva, I was having real problems with the gradients here. Whereas in Photoshop, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing, the rendering. Okay, my leg's dissolving a little bit here, but I mean, no one in the whole, I kind of look like a troll. What are those things? It's like, they're kind of a bit like a minotaur. A good chapter on selling out. And he's just talking about the relationship of art, creativity, and money. But in fact, you need to work out how you're going to make a living, bring in your money. You can check it out. One of the things in this chapter that really resonates with me is the importance of building a mailing list. I started my Substack a couple of years ago. It's got up to about 2,000 people, which is absolutely amazing. I write on creative life every single week. Mailing list is like the Chinese proverb, which is when was the best time to plant a tree? Well, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time was today. Just do it. If you're doing something in your own life in any way whatsoever, build a mailing list. Think long term. Do it over 5 years. Write for yourself. Put out some bit of information that you come across every single week or something that you care about. Building a writing habit is half the battle with organizing yourself, but also with this whole engagement with social media. It just cures up so many pain points, especially with how you generate content. So a reminder at the end of the book, he says, don't think of it as starting over. Think of it as beginning again. Go back to chapter 1, literally, and become an amateur. Look for something new to learn. And when you find it, dedicate yourself to learning it out in the open. Document your progress and share as you go on so that others can learn along with you. Show your work, and when the right people show up, pay close attention to them because they'll have a lot to show you. And that is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. Back to work. Half the time in this video, I'm calling Show Your Work, Share Your Work, because I'm an idiot.